Welcome back. I wanna create a new video, kind of like a continuation from our last video. Um, it's going to be about why caring about other people holds us back from really achieving our true potential. And this is something I realized recently about my life is like I put the opinions of others above my own. And this has happened to me since I was maybe like grade 6 when I was really, really young. Um, I realized that like I try so hard to prove to other people that I'm capable of doing things because I was so scared. And sure, to an extent, it helped me like work my ass off. And I can kind of credit it with like bringing me to where I am now. But what I realized is what drew me to achieve these goals weren't my self belief to achieve these goals or my wanting to achieve these goals, but really just a fear of how other people would see me. Um, yeah, and I feel like this fear of judgment just it really changed the way I saw myself because I didn't see myself as someone who is smart, but I saw myself as someone who needed to compensate for many things because I wasn't good at talking, I wasn't good at studying, I wasn't naturally smart. So I felt like I needed to prove to others that I was, in a way. But then I realized that the opinions of others isn't really what matters. It's really the thing that kind of holds us back, you know? um, this is kind of this is why it's a reason. This is the reason why it's a continuation of yesterday, because I talked a lot about moving forward from failure. That it's not really the wins or losses that defines us, but it's really more of how we get back up from these wins and losses that really um, that really defines the kind of people we are. It's the persistence that translates to how successful we would be in the future, or at least that's what I believe. And what I realize is I cannot think of anyone in my life or anyone who's like really successful out there who just doesn't believe in themselves. It really just boils down to self belief, you know? Um, and my problem was that I have a lack of this self belief and this self respect. And this is why I prioritize people's opinions and I use people's opinions to make a judgment on myself. And in a way, it was also bad because I started judging people, kind of like projecting my own problems to these individuals, when really these futile things that I'm judging them based on doesn't define the character they are. I think it's so important for us to realize that we are so much more than what other people say or think about us. I've wrote countless of times in my journal how I was so afraid of how these people would view me, or how I am so dumb in how I acted. But then I realized like had I cared about what people thought about me, had I cared about what these people who don't really think twice about me, like what they said, like had I actually took that to heart, I wouldn't have started many things. I wouldn't go as far as to go to med school. I wouldn't try painting. I wouldn't try skateboarding. I wouldn't try riding. I wouldn't even try making this YouTube video. Because it all boils down to self-belief and what we think we are capable of. And this is not to say to be an asshole and just like neglect everyone's opinions, but it's more of caring and taking feedback from the people who matters most to us and the people that actually care about our progress and self-belief and self-growth. I mean, not really caring about people who don't think twice or don't really want us to succeed, you know? So I think it's still important to take feedback from your close friends, your mentors, and of course family members, as long as they truly want you to grow forward. But for the other people who don't know your story, don't care at all about your trajectory in life, who cares? Don't let them see your progress. Let them believe what they want to believe. If they don't want to be your friend, so be it. Because you should have enough self-belief to know how much of a beautiful and capable and strong individual you are. You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to let them define who you are. Because if you truly think that you are a good person deep down and what you are fighting for is truly worth something, then in a way, I think that beats anyone's opinion of you, as long as you kind of filter out their opinions in a way. I think it's also the importance of understanding this fear that stems from us and where it comes from, that allows us to like understand how, in a way, if we think about our fears and our pasts and these people, just imagine how far you'd be in your life. You wouldn't try anything new. You would give up the next time someone says you can't do this, you can't do that. You just give up. I think that it's kind of really important that we kind of don't think ourselves as incompetent, but we think of ourselves as capable individuals. But what's so important, it just boils down to having that self-belief, you know? And it's also like, yeah, I think that's it. It all boils down to self-belief. How do we deal with those individuals who kind of bring us down or kind of tell us we can't do this, we can't do that? How do we deal with an individual that just we know don't believe in us? We use it to fuel ourselves. We tell them, you know what, I'll show you that I can do this. And even if we are unsuccessful in showing them, then at the same time we at least get to gain something from that experience. And then you start to realize that focusing not on trying to prove other people wrong, but really trying to prove ourselves right is really what matters. Thank you.